Gita, 14th chapter, Gunatno hi pratisthaham amritasya yes amrita sukhasya kantikasya cha. Yesterday telling, after giving the answer to Arjuna's third question, what is the way to go beyond three qualities? He says, for I am the abode of Brahman. I am the abode of Brahman, the immortal and the immutable, of everlasting dharma, and of absolute bliss. Yesterday we were discussing who is saying, I am the abode of Brahman. Who is saying? Is Lord Krishna different from Brahman? But for expression's sake, we have to tell like this. It has got the same meaning. I am the Param Brahma, and whatever is known as Brahma, that is I am, and I am the abode for it. I am the container, I am the sustainer, I am the substratum, I am everything. I am everything. So I am the holder of me also. Yesterday we saw it, how I am the body, I am the name, and I am different from all these also. And when we relatively we do something in worldly parlance, we have to behave in different ways. I have to say my body, while behaving I have to behave as I body. We do it. This is the way in relative world. But absolutely all this relativity is not seen, so it remains in its pristine glories all the time. There is no point of expression or explanation, no question. The self which is immortal and immutable, which is attainable by the eternal dharma of the knowledge of this self. Dharma is, eternal dharma is the self-knowledge. Thereby we can keep up the absolute balance. Everything will be whole in it, so it is called eternal dharma. The knowledge of the self, only knowledge will do. Is it the meaning? No. Knowledge means knowledge is of two kinds. One is informative, other is experiential. So experiential knowledge becomes the object itself. Knowledge of the object becomes the object itself. That is how dharma becomes the knowledge, knowledge becomes the absolute existence. It exists. That is how it sustains the whole universe. That's how known as eternal dharma. And knowledge of the self is called eternal dharma, which is unending bliss also. When you are resting there, you have no desires, you have no feeling, experience of incompleteness. You are complete by yourself, you are Purnam, whole, total. There is no need of anything, there is no lacking anything. So, it is absolute satisfaction, contentment. That is how it is eternal bliss. The absolute perfection, absolute completion, absolute totality, or oneness, one without a second, as per the modern scientific language, one the absolute singularity. Absolute singularity. There is no second. We call it one without a second. The aspirant beholds with the eye of intuition that the immortal self is the very supreme self. Through self-realization. What is called realization? Realization means it is not something, not some process, it is a state, being oneness, feeling oneness with it. And that should not be momentary, it should be permanent. Permanent experience of the existence absolute. That is called realization of self. And thereby all the problems are solved. We call it attainment of knowledge, attainment of mukti, liberation, or nirvana, or in many ways we understand it and we strive for it. So he says it can be seen by the intuitional eyes. That is what yesterday we were trying to discuss. Intuitional eye means not these physical eyes. Physical eyes see something, and don't think physical eyes means only these our two eyes. Eyes means the senses also. By senses, all the five senses of knowledge, we accumulate knowledge. So, that knowledge is information only, haphazard, momentary, incomplete. That's how our senses, which are known as eyes, because eyes see this object and it visualizes, it holds something, it understands, it accumulates some information. That's all. So all our five senses, they are helpful in accumulating informations by their contact with the particular objects. In this way, senses are called eyes, and these are not enough, not sufficient, not capable of accumulating complete knowledge because they are momentary, they are always flittering, because they are one with the mind. Mind is a process, restless process, and that mind becomes ego and becomes one with the senses, and it goes out of the body and it gets contact with the sense objects and comes back to its source. What is the source of mind? Mind, first of all, mind, if we analyze it, the gross thoughts are vibratory system, gross waves, which we name as thoughts. The flow of all these thoughts are called mind, generally understood. But when two thoughts clash against each other, then third diagonal force is created, that is called decisive thought. And that is how those decisive thoughts again and again they clash against each other, and those process is known as intellect. Gross actions are known as mind, and subtle decisive actions are known as intellect. And intellect also works finely, super finely sometimes, and all these are subject to rajas only. And sattva, when dominates, rajas subsides slowly, and sattva dominates, then the same intellect works calmly and patiently, and those decisions will be more accurate and more longer, more persisting, those decisions. Because all the decisions we also change. The intellect changes its decisions. Just as now the modern scientists, they call it invention. They invent something, and after some days it goes wrong. Some other more intellectual person comes out, no, all these declarations are haphazard. They are not fulfilling our proof. Anyhow, this is how the intellect also goes on changing. Decisions change. So the more persisting and more stable decisions, they are called super intellect. Okay? In this way, all these process, mental process, mind, intellect, and ego, and our chitta, the subconscious mind, all these which are totally taken as one mind, or brain is the headquarter for it. It is only headquarter, it works everywhere in the body. Only headquarter is called brain, and brain is nothing but a vibratory system, nothing else. And different cells are there, holes are there, minute, microscopic, minute curvatures are there where prana strives, prana knocks, and vibrations are created. Just as we bell the bell, ring the bell, vibration is created. Those are, we call it sound, and different vibration is created, different sounds. Similarly, in the brain, different divisions are there, and different structure is there. So minute only with great strive, these medical scientists, they have come to know a little, but yogis know everything well. Perfectly they see it, how it vibrates, how it does it work, and how to control it, how to use it. They know it. And because of pranayam, prana is this root cause. Prana only vibrates. Prana is nothing but vital energy. Wind. Wind is nothing but only vibrations. So this is how in the brain we call it all those system, whatever goes on, that is known as chitta, subconscious mind. Grossly, it is not exact. Don't take it for granted. Some gross idea. Brain is called the chitta. And they are different, just as our different sections in the our secretariat or our collectorate, where collector sits and office goes on, different sections are there, different heads are there, but one head collector will be controlling everything. Similarly, in the brain also, one ego controls everything. That ego is known as subconscious mind also. That is the treasury. Treasury has all the strength. It keeps up all the accumulations. Whatever is accumulated by the senses, mind, and everybody, they are in very subtle form. They are collected in the brain, that is, we know as chitta, that is not without ego. Ego is there. Ego means the changing phenomena which identifies as I. That is called I. And ego, that changes every moment. It changes with every thought, every intellectual process, everything, everywhere. It changes so rapidly, it cannot be understood so easily. So in this way, that subconscious mind collects all informations in subtle forms. We call it impressions, we call it memories. Anyhow, understand as something, some accumulated matter, very subtle matter. Okay? That is known as the subconscious mind, chitta, and that is just like a seed. One seed holds innumerable past trees and innumerable future trees. All those potency is hidden in one seed. So small, it holds everything within it. That is the beauty of subtlety. Our mind is unable to understand so much. So just as in a small seed, see the banyan tree and its fruit, and inside it one small fruit, it holds thousands of seeds, small seeds, and one seed is equal to thousands of banyan trees afterwards and in the past also. How much it is capable to hold. If a practically grossly world in the worldly parallels we see all these, what will be the absolute awareness, how subtle it is, how all-pervading. Innumerable universes are held in it. That's how the Vedas said, subtler than the subtlemost. Anuraniyan. And now coming to our point, I have given you a rough picture. It is not the real picture. Rough picture, haphazard, Chinese art. So, find out somewhere. You see, there is some point which is called intuition. All this process, just as in our galaxy, in our individual galaxy, means in the universe, our galaxy is the smallest and it is thrown away in the sky, in the space, somewhere in the corner. Nobody splits at it. And in that galaxy, our nearest red star, which is thousands times greater than our sun, is just like some mustard seed or some, say we can say, gram, like that red star. It is somewhere in southern center, south, southeast we can say, southeast center of the galaxy, that red star. And our sun is not at all visible if the galaxy is seen in such big wall as a galaxy. There, upper will be north, below will be south, right, north, east, this is west. In that east and south corners somewhere, the sun is invisible in this map of our galaxy. It is invisible. We have to point out somewhere here. And in that you see our individual identity, and on the earth and wherever you are and whatever you are, and your small mind, you want to understand everything. Unless and until you break down all these limitations, nothing can be understood. Something we just hold haphazardly for time being to have little satisfaction. Don't be satisfied with this understanding. Never you should. Whatever we try to understand, it is nothing. Nothing. So somewhere there, in that intellectual process, some point is they are near the center, which is called intuition, medha, smriti, dhriti, dharana, or prajna. All these or Sanskrit terms, they are different from each other, but they are so subtle most. They are just near to the center. It is not the center, it is yet a process, the just beginning of the process of vibration or working system of the our chitta and ego and then intellect. Everything is one only in the process. Some phases are named in different ways. That's all. Just as night passes away, darkness disappears, and we enter into day. Isn't it? Is it all of a sudden? Can you mark exactly how much visibility has entered in and how much darkness has disappeared? Can you have any measurement, any calculation of it? Any scientist? It is so subtle. Nothing can be. It is only to assume. That's all. Somewhere just before sunrise, how can you understand it? Somewhere, some point is called Arunodaya. It is just like the intuition. And then all of a sudden, everything is clear. Everything is clear, sun rises, and you see the sun. So that is not a sudden process, sudden occurrence. It is a long, steady, subtle process. This is how intellect and the finest part of subtle-most and sattvic part of the intellect is known as intuition. There, because it is so subtle, have one point always in the mind, it will give you so much clarifications. The more object is subtle, it is more expanded, more voluminous, it has more capacity of accumulating and holding and sustaining in it. Just as, for example, the earth is gross most and water is subtler than the earth, so the volume of water is more than the volume of earth. And it is given in some ways. Some people say it is 2.5 times of the earth more, or some say three times more than earth, the volume. Some say it is 7 times, according to our philosophy. The only solid water is not the water. Its existence in subtle form also is known as water. Just as the cloud is also water. The humidity also is called water. Understood? Only your visible water is not only water. From that sense, the water is 7 times voluminous than earth. And fire is again 7 times more than water. In this way, it goes on. The more it is subtle, more it is expanded, and more it is voluminous, and it has more capacity of sustaining, holding, and retaining everything. This is how the sky is subtlemost. Everything is there in this space. So, this example we can take for mind, subconscious mind, and before subconscious mind, its structural form is primordial power, Trigunatmika Shakti, Mool Prakriti, that is subtler than your subconscious mind, Chitta. And even before that, when it tries to manifest, activate, then only it will be visible or it will be in action in the process of creation. Before that, there is a momentum. You can just imagine, before I get up, I have a momentum to get up. चेष्टा we say, चेष्टा, जिसको चेष्टा कहते हैं। और ये चेष्टा हर कर्म के पहले होता है। कर्म का शुरुआत के पहले चेष्टा है। और वो चेष्टा को हम कैसे एनालिटिकली समझ पाएंगे, उसको समझो जैसे preparatory process to sow the sow. उसके पहले तो कुछ हम करते हैं ना, जैसे ड्रामा स्टेज करने के पहले रिहर्सल चलता है कि नहीं? और बहुत सारे उदाहरण हैं। वो उस चेष्टा को अव्यक्त और व्यक्त के बीच में रखो। जो unseen, unknown and unmanifested, which wants to manifest will be seen and will be activated. In that border, that momentum is there. And near that border, this intuition is there. Understood now? That intuition is known as मेधा. We call मेधावी बच्चा है ये, मेधावी, मेधा जिसके पास है. Intuitionally it can understand in a twinkling of an eye. बंगाल में एक कोई माता जी थी, उसको कितनी बड़ा समस्या दे दो, मैथमेटिकल प्रॉब्लम दे दो, वो बोलते ही वो सल्यूशन दे देगी। कितना तेज उसका दिमाग काम करता है, उसको कहते हैं इंट्यूशन। कितना तेज है? हाँ जी, शकुंतला देवी।
स्वामी जी, ये जो है इंट्यूशन, ये परमात्मा के बिल्कुल नजदीक हुआ है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, इसीलिए उसको उतना शक्ति होता है, देखता है वो बिना इंद्रियों से, बिना मन से, बिना बुद्धि से वो देखता है, समझता है। इसीलिए इतना, तभी मैं ये जो स्थूलता और सूक्ष्मता का उदाहरण दिया, जितना सूक्ष्म होगा उतना ज़्यादा शक्तिशाली और ज़्यादा परमात्मा का नज़दीक रहेगा। परमात्मा सबसे ऊपर, जो सबसे ऊपर, उसी को हम परमात्मा कहते हैं। वाइस वर्सा इज द ट्रू। तो परमात्मा को अदृश्य मानो या अदृश्य को परमात्मा मानो। अदृश्य किसके लिए? अदृश्य ये जो फिजिकल आई, जो भौतिक आँख मतलब सारे इंद्रियां, अथवा मन, अथवा बुद्धि, इसके लिए अदृश्य है। कोई इंट्यूशनली कुछ देख सकता है, जैसे हम थोड़ा बहुत समझते हैं वो कैसे, वो स्थिति कब आता है, जो सचमुच कुछ ध्यान कर सकता है। अगर सचमुच कोई ध्यान करता है, दिखावटी ध्यान वो रखो तुम्हारे घर में, उसका बात हम नहीं करते हैं। ध्यान इतना आसान नहीं, बड़े आंख बंद करके जाकर बैठ गए तो ध्यान कर लिए। अगर सचमुच कोई ध्यान किया, 10-5 मिनट कोई ध्यान कर सकता है, 10-5 मिनट छोड़ो, 1 मिनट अगर ध्यान कोई कर लिया तो उसका ये इंट्यूशन धीरे धीरे डेवलप होता है। वो कुछ देखते ही समझ जाता है, उसका जो दृष्टि वो ऑल परवेडिंग होता है। अब इंट्यूशन के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत हमको आइडिया आया। इंट्यूशन साधारण बुद्धि को नहीं कहते हैं, और बुद्धि के पराकाष्ठा जिसके परे परमात्मा ही है, उस स्थिति को इंट्यूशन कहते हैं।
इंट्यूशन होता है कि हम उसकी कई बार उसका अनादर कर देते हैं।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, उसी को कहते हैं अंतरात्मा का आवाज, द क्लैरियन कॉल, अंतरात्मा का आवाज। उसको हम सुन कर के हम सुना कर देते हैं। है सबके अंदर है, पर ढका हुआ है। It is not under our, means what do you mean by our? It is not under the control of mind or body or senses. It happens. Our control means body का कंट्रोल में नहीं, और मन के कंट्रोल में भी नहीं, बुद्धि के कंट्रोल भी नहीं। हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी। गुरुदेव जो आंख बंद करके ऐसा टेढ़ा करके 1 मिनट में सियानी करते थे ना, वही उसी का इंट्यूशन करते। नजर पड़ा तो सारा खुल गया, वो इंट्यूशन होता है। साईं बाबा के पास इंट्यूशन था, आगे पीछे सब दिखता है, सब दिखता है। रमन महर्षि के पास इंट्यूशन, वो इंट्यूशन समाधि अथवा ध्यान, लगातार कोई ध्यान करता है तो उसको वो इंट्यूशन का स्थिति अनुभव होता है। तो उसी से यहाँ यही कहा भगवान कृष्ण, the aspirant beholds with the eye of intuition that the immortal self is the very supreme self through self-realization। वही समझो बॉर्डर में खड़े हो, उस तरफ सब दिखता है, इस तरफ सब दिखता है, उसी को इंट्यूशन का मान लो। बॉर्डर में यू आर स्टैंडिंग ऑन द होराइजन। The Lord bestows grace and mercy on his devotees through his Shakti, energy or power or Maya. Shakti, Maya Shakti, and the Lord are one. Maya Shakti and the Lord are one, just as heat is inseparable from fire, so also Maya or Shakti is inseparable from the Lord. Shakti cannot be distinct from the Lord in whom she inheres. इसीलिए शक्ति माया का जाल बड़ा कठिन है। भगवान कभी कहे हैं, हमको आश्योरेंस दिए हैं कि मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते माया में ताम तरन्ति। मेरा असली रूप को जो समझ जाएगा, उसमें जो समा जाएगा, समा जाएगा, वो माया के परे जा सकते हैं। नहीं तो माया से परे जाना संभव नहीं है संभव। क्यों नहीं परे संभव? कि हम जो प्रयास करते हैं वो प्रयास तो एक प्रोसेस है ना, एक क्रियाशीलता को प्रयास कहते हैं, और ये माया ही है। और परमात्मा क्रियाशीलता के ऊपर है, स्थिरता का नाम। तो इससे उसको कैसे हम पाएंगे? जब तक हम कोशिश करेंगे समझने के लिए, देखने के लिए, तब तक ना समझ में आएगा, ना कभी देखने के लिए मिलेगा। तो फिर इसके ऊपर आप सवाल कर सकते हैं, भगवत दर्शन किसको कहते हैं? फिर किसको कहते हैं? इसके अगर ऊपर आप चाहेंगे तो कल विस्तृत विचार करेंगे। भगवत दर्शन किसको कहते हैं? भक्तों को भगवान का दर्शन होता है कि नहीं? बहुत चमत्कार हम सुनते हैं, होता है, देखते हैं। और ज्ञानियों को भगवत दर्शन होता है, भगवत साक्षात्कार होता है। योगियों को होता है, भक्तों को होता है, ज्ञानियों को होता है। कितनी किस्म से होता है। तो ये कैसे, क्या है? क्या भगवान इतने की अलग अलग ढंग से सब दर्शन देते हैं? क्या होता है, क्या से उसका असली समझ क्या है? क्या हम समझेंगे? भगवत दर्शन किसको कहेंगे? हम बिना समझ करके हम बहुत सवाल भी करते हैं, हम पूछते हैं, स्वामी जी आपको भगवान मिल गया। हम मान भी लेते हैं वो बड़े तत्वज्ञानी है, बड़े सर्वज्ञ पुरुष है, मान भी लेते हैं किसी को, झूठ मूठ, कभी सचमुच भी। जिसको मानना चाहिए उसको नहीं मानते हैं, जिसको नहीं मानना चाहिए उसको मान लेते हैं। यही हमारा धंधा। और ये जो हम मानते हैं, क्या मानते हैं? किसको मान करके चलते हैं हम? थोड़ा बहुत तो होश में तो आना चाहिए। अंधे के में भी कहाँ चलेंगे? इसको कल विचार करेंगे। फिर है ये शक्ति और शक्तिधर। Shakti is inseparable from the Lord. Shakti cannot be distinct from the Lord in whom she inheres. It cannot be different from the Lord. If you see something, you see it through the Shakti. So Shakti has to allow you to enter in. That is the gatekeeper. इसको रामायण में, तुलसी रामायण में तुलसीदास जी बड़ा सुंदर वर्णना किए हैं। कल हम देखेंगे इसको और चर्चा करेंगे। भगवत दर्शन कैसे होता है और माया को कैसे कौन पार पाया? कस तरती वो शंकराचार्य जी का अपना वो प्रश्नोत्तरी में है। कौन पार पा जाता है? कौन पार पाता है? कल देखते हैं। हरि ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। कृष्ण भगवान की जय। गीता माता की जय। हरि ओम।